Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Randy. Randy is from Atlanta in Georgia in the USA. So let's see what Randy has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hello, William.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Very well, thanks so much. Good. And before we start the game, tell me where are you from?
So I live in a city called Marietta, which is right outside of Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. And what do you do for a living?
Currently, I work as a hospitality professional for affluential restaurant group here in Marietta. More specifically, it's called Mac's Chop House. I work in restaurants right now.
Amazing. And tell me what's the most interesting thing about your job?
Well, let's see. I've worked in hospitality and hospitality management off and on for 20 years. And what I love about it is I love being the the vessel between the guest and their experience and the food that we provide. I've always had a fascination with food, and it's one of my deepest passions and loves in life.
Very good. I love food as well.
Right.
Right. So just before we go for a beautiful journey called William the Magic Box, just tell me something interesting about yourself. Tell me something interesting.
Let's see. I'm a huge food nerd, as I was just saying. I would rather go shopping in a farmer's market than go clothes shopping any day. I love comic books. I also equally, as much as I love comic books and love all the nerdy stuff, I love reading. I love working out and working and learning about fitness and hanging out with friends, enjoying life.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, Randy, so welcome to William and the Magic Box. Friends, okay, full of random fun questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question, okay?
Okay.
And if there is a question you don't have an answer for, you don't want to answer, I always can change and take another one, okay? It's all very friendly and chilled, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it. Right, are you drinking coffee?
I am.
Right.
I had a very late night last night, so I needed coffee this morning.
Right, ready for the first question?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Right, the first question is, what is your idea of a perfect day?
A perfect date?
Day.
A perfect day. Sorry, perfect day. I starting my day with my tea or my coffee, having a quiet space to get myself centered. Oftentimes I'll meditate or I'll pray and then just kind of collect myself before I begin whatever the day has in store, because we never really know. I mean, the day is going to be what it is without we can't do nothing control about it. Ideally, I would love to be able to cook in that day. I would love to be able to go out and exercise at some point and exert some kind of creativity somewhere.
I see. So the fitness style always been in your life?
So when I was young, I was extremely overweight, and amidst like having adversity where, when you're young and you're overweight, you don't have a lot of friends and you don't learn a lot about yourself because you're kind of put into a little box. And so my father's family was all very unhealthy in that way. And when his family started experiencing health problems, and he eventually passed from health problems from obesity and weight too, it was a promise to myself that I would always want to pursue that for myself, and then also potentially help other people in that way too. So yeah, it's always been a thing, and I think once you start getting that mentality, it just makes you feel good. It makes you feel good. It makes your day better. You're healthier. You're happier. So that's why I love it.
Totally agree. I totally agree. I think sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you go like, "Oh my God!" This negative voice go like, "No, no, don't go." But when you're stronger and you kind of, okay, I'm gonna go it. And when you are there working out or running, you feel so good about it that you say, "Okay, I've done it. You know what I mean? I killed that negative voice on my head. That no, no, no." Yes, I love. And actually, I like going working out when I have this voice myself say, "No, no, don't go. It's raining or it's cold or this and that." And I was like, you know what? That's the time when I should go. That's how I feel.
Absolutely. That's what I was just about to say. Is when that's absolutely the time when you need to push yourself, is when you're like, I don't really feel like it. I can stay home and eat pizza. Nope.
And the feeling is like so much better. The feeling when you feel it, you're like, oh my God, it feels so nice after you've done it. When you went over this negative voice.
Absolutely.
I agree. Second question, Randy. Let's do it. Right, before the next question, and what's the best part of living in your city?
Let's see. I have been in Atlanta for, oh my gosh, 28 years, and this is technically my home. I mean, I really can't say anything else about it, but I've seen Atlanta grow and change and evolve through so many incarnations, and it just become this beautiful city. But what I guess I love about it the most, I love the weather down here. I really can't compare it to anywhere else. But I don't know. I love the people. Like I said, it's growing to be a really diverse city. The longer that it goes, the older that it gets, and as such, like the culture is becoming more diversified, which is what I love about it too. And it's home. Like when you have home, you just know it the best. That's what you know the ins and outs of the city, and I know that's kind of a vague answer, but I just, Atlanta's kind of got this Southern hospitality and charm about it that, people are genuinely kind, and I love that too.
That's good. I had a few guests actually from Atlanta, and they said exactly the same thing as you said now. Yeah, it's a lot of nature as well.
Oh my God, yeah. When you fly into Atlanta, or when you look at the city's skyline, you can just notice, especially when you go over Buckhead and Midtown, and even downtown, it's just all trees and it's all green, and it's nice. We have a little bit of everything here. Aside from being in the middle of a state, we have just a little bit of everything here.
Very good. Next question for you is, would you rather be invisible or be able to fly, and what would you do?
Ooh, wow. That's a good question. I feel like different parts of your day, you could probably feel like you want to do one or the other. I think flying would be the best part. Having that freedom and independence to be anywhere and not be confined to one place. I think that sounds amazing.
And if you could fly somewhere at the right moment, where would you go at this moment?
My mother, to go see my mother. She lives in Taipei. And so it's, 12 hours ahead, 13 hours ahead. And, she's, I know that's probably super corny. I'm total mama's boy, but she's, especially during the pandemic too. She, it's something where she can't come back and visit as much, and I can't go over there. And so that would be definitely the first spot, without a question. Oh,
very good. Do you have siblings as well?
I have a younger brother, Alan, and he lives in South Carolina.
Very good, very good. Yeah. Next question for you. Next question for you. What bores you?
Complacency. What bores me is a lack of variety. These are more conceptual, honestly. You could really talk about physical things, but I think like even those things can be overcome. Negativity bores me. Oh my goodness, I don't even want to be around it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Good. I agree. Next question, Randy, for Atlanta. Let's do it. For the next question, and what's the most challenging part of your job, in your opinion?
I think, I don't know. That's a good question, because I think in this climate right now, it's definitely changed. last year when the shutdown happened, and I lost my job. I lost a very good job, actually, and it was heartbreaking. And to have to see your entire industry decimated all at one time. But the hardest thing to, I guess, learn how to pivot in this new kind of climate that we're living in. I think with hospitality in general, I think our community here in Marietta is, kind of we're going back to a normal state, if you will, but just really seeing how it's really affecting everything, in all the moving parts that it is, from supply chain to the cost of food, to how it affects guests and how they come in and the mentality they have, their comfort level for dining in your restaurant, for, how they communicate with you. It's really profound what it's done to the entire industry. So I guess, in the more immediate sense, that's probably the most challenging thing right now. And it all goes back down to, it affects you as an employee, it affects you as a person in the industry, and just learning how to change on a daily basis. Restaurants are very fast-paced anyway, and you go into one, even as a guest, you understand that. But even being a part of it, like it's even in a more definitive scale. So that's definitely been the most challenging thing for me.
It's interesting saying that, Randy, because I've been working hospitality as well for most of my life, and hotels, and I think that all the time when you see those crises around the world, you know what I mean? I never thought one day hospitality would be affected. When you see, I remember since last year when, COVID hit down, and I was like, oh my God, I think hospitality was the business that was one of the business that was more affected. And now it's getting back to normal again, London, the hotels, they are open again, restaurants, and all the hospitality industry, and they are desperate to find people because so many people left, go back to their countries in Europe. So a lot of people left. So
isn't that crazy? That's one of the things too that's also so crazy, is that we cannot find people to work.
Absolutely.
They do not want to come back to work, and it's really heartbreaking. Like you have, I think if you understand this, you identify with a certain part of it. It's part of you, and so you see this is your family, your home, and you're like, wow, it's changed forever. Like, what are you going to do?
Absolutely. And before the COVID happening in London, in UK, the Brexit happened before as well. So we, what I mean? That was, my God, so many people, they left London, England, a lot of European people, they left because of the Brexit. And now, what I mean? After that, straight away, the COVID hit, and now things are going back to normal again. And they're desperate to get the business to run again,
Yeah.
So yeah, then I never thought, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and I was telling him, my God, I never thought one day hospitality would be affected, like any crisis around the world. And because people, they always traveling, they always go out, they always eat, and suddenly, just went.
It's amazing. It's amazing the things you take for granted every day. Absolutely. And then when something like this happens on this kind of a scale, how much it makes you really think and pause and reset and pivot.
Absolutely. Anyway, we are going to a better place now. Things are going back to normal.
I'm in a good place. We're in a good place. It's all good.
Absolutely. Right. Next question is define yourself in a season of the year and why.
Oh, summer. For sure. I'm a summer baby. I love the idea of sunlight and warmth, and the jubilance of being outside, and that, summer to me signify or symbolizes like activity and life and joy, and the heat for me, especially in Atlanta, gets so hot, but it's also just it's a sign that life is going on in full force, and I've always loved it. I'm accustomed to being hot and being in the hot weather, and I really enjoy it. That will be it.
It's your birthday around summertime as well?
June 5th.
There we go. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, Handy, next question for you is, what is the happiest day in your life so far, and why you consider that?
So I guess this will go on a little bit of a deeper level. And I didn't know that this would be the happiest day of my life, but it is now, because I think about it profound, was the day that I got clean and sober. Active addiction was a part of my life for a long time.
Right.
And the moment that I really, again, it's not like it's a momentous, like, oh, I accomplished that. I got this job or got this. This was a life-changing moment. And it has continued to be a gift that continues to open my life to new things and change my perspective and appreciation and patience and ability to share space with people like you. And it will be hands down probably the happiest day of my life for the rest of my life.
Very good. Thanks for sharing that. And when you look back through this dark place that you've been in the past, what's the most positive thing you took out of it when you look back?
Oh, wow. God, where do we start? There's so many things. Like, I never really thought, my mother actually this is a gift my mother gave me, was that she had a conversation with me one day and she said, and she goes, I don't want you to take this personally. And that's one thing you learn when you're in recovery is that, perhaps all that chaos that was in your life and all of the darkness in your life, you became such a professional at being an addict, and you became such a professional at isolating yourself and, lying or whatever else it was. Perhaps you can use all these dark things and turn them into something that can help other people. And that really was a game changer for me in a lot of ways, because not only is she saying that I love you no matter what, but this is something that you can really take to and help other people. And it's really happened that way. Also, your heart opens up just a little bit more for everything in your life if you allow it to. And you're allowing to just be in the moment and enjoy things and places and people and ideas and thoughts and feelings in that space. Is probably one of the biggest gifts, and also a newfound sense of spirituality that, this world is not something that I have to do on my own. So
yeah, I think when people like all of us, we go moments in our lives, we go through those dark places or moments in our lives. And when in the future, when we are over it, when we can talk about, and I think it's like a freedom when you talk about it. And again, as you said, like people, the other side, they're gonna listen to that and hearing that. Oh my God, it's good to know that somebody else as well went to this journey, and I'm not alone. So that you can help so many people. Like just saying that, you know what I mean? People, they feel comfort just hearing that, just saying, hearing this.
It gives me goosebumps every time I talk about it. Like I'm like skin chill. I'm telling every time, and every time I talk about it, and I don't mean it to glorify it or, to give it in a certain light, but it's awesome. I love the feeling about it.
I don't know if you can see my arm, but it's full of goosebumps as well.
That's awesome.
It's very powerful. It's powerful. When people, they share those, moments in their lives, and just to help other people out there, I think it's a powerful energy that goes around, and I think that's important. Well, absolutely. Cool. Thanks for sharing that. Good.
Yeah.
Next question. Right. Next question for you is tough one. What makes you the saddest?
Close-minded people. People that don't accept others for who they are. Yeah. People who don't open love up to loving themselves. And just denying it, not being able to fulfill your life for really silly reasons, doing things in your life that make you happy. I'm not trying to sound self-centered or anything, but like I've done a lot of self-work and self-care lately. And I think that, outside of being a gay man and also wanting to be held equally and looked equally and treated equally in the world, which, it can be challenging sometimes, but not for my own self personally, would be not being able to really live my life and be happy. That would be the saddest thing. I mean, I know that sounds pretty logical, but yeah, that would be the saddest thing.
Cool. I agree. Absolutely. I think we are lucky to be who we are, express ourselves the way we want to, even though sometimes the society out there is very strong against us, but at the same time as well, it's a challenge. It feels good as well when you empower yourself. Okay, no, I'm gay or whatever. I'm gonna.
Well, even ultimately too, on a more like civic level, like when this pandemic happened, it was really profound to see from a cultural standpoint, that people didn't want to help each other. and it's just like at a very fundamental level, like, this is what we're here for. We need to help each other. This is the time when we need to help each other. And that's sad to me when people can't do that.
Very good. Next question for you. Let's do it. Before the next one, as you mentioned about being gay, did you always have support of your family?
No. No. I unfortunately, probably like a lot of other people, I know that changes for everybody more recently though, but when I was in high school, I would sneak off to go to the Atlanta Gay and Lesbian Youth Center and the Youth Pride, community center, which was in East Atlanta or Little Five Points, Atlanta. And I remember I would go every Wednesday night. I would come back in, I would tell my mom I was going to work, and and she wouldn't know. But I ended up printing out some information from them. And when you live in Alpharetta, Georgia, in this very kind of yuppie kind of environment where it's very conservative for the most part, you kind of hide all that stuff. And I remember when I was leaving the house, going back to college one weekend night. This was my first year away from home, being a very sheltered kid, super nerd. I was bringing my laundry down the stairs. My dad was sitting on the couch. My mom was sitting on the armchair, and there was a love seat right in the center. And all lights were turned out except the TV. It was on mute. And so he said, we need to have a talk. And then he held up the papers from my closet that they had gone through, and they had found them. And it wasn't anything, horrible. It was just something that had information on there. And so he immediately got very angry. My mom started crying. He told me to never bring my faggot ass home ever again. And I didn't go home for 2 years. And I cried the entire way back to Athens, Georgia, because I went to the University of Georgia. And that very same year, or that Christmas, his sister wrote me a card saying that we will forgive you, but mostly the Lord will forgive you for your transgressions and your choice to live in sin. And so she weaponized Christianity, and my dad threw me all in 1 year. Now, I'm not saying that to victimize myself or to say that, that was something that, was very challenging at the very start of my, my adolescence and also my young adulthood. And, it is what it is. Everybody's story is different, right? And so it was very challenging, because then you had to, I look at it now, like I had to figure out how to make friends in adulthood on my own. I couldn't talk to parents about that. I couldn't talk to them about relationships or dating. I couldn't talk to them about anything. But, now I'm a better person for it, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely does.
But I did have a very profound appreciation for people in my community, and no matter who they were.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think all of us, we go through one, as you said, the moment when you came out or when the situation happened. I think all of us, we had this moment when we need to face it somehow it goes the way we are not expecting or not wishing to happen. But there we go. I think everything happened for a reason, and just made the person we are today. And yeah, I think I've heard so many stories as well, like some tragic stories as well. But people, they get grateful for it, because when they look back, they go like, "Oh, actually, I'm grateful for that, because I'm so more stronger than before, and I feel like I can. I'm a different person now, and you always get something positive out of it, for sure. It doesn't matter how it happened, but you always get something out of that."
Well, here's the thing about that too, and I really feel like there is something, this is another recovery principle, but something greater than myself always was looking out for me, because I was never without some kind of guardian or some person that was there as a mentor in my life. Like, I was never without. Even when my parents forced me to come out. I had a college friend that I came out to, and she's a high school friend. She's like, "I've just been waiting for you to tell me this whole time, and I love you anyway." Wow. So while maybe my family wasn't fully supportive, I had friends and I had other people there that I was very, very lucky and fortunate to have in my life to see me through those times. So
good. Next question for you is, what is your lucky number and why you consider that?
I've always been drawn to the number 4. I can't explain why. It's just, I don't know if it's considered lucky. I just like it. I don't know, that something in 4s, there's something balancing about that to me. It's my Zen space.
And do you have some special occasions in your life that was like on the 4th of any month or anything, or not? Do you have any
No,
Or
I don't. I just I'm a little weird that way. I don't know. Like ever since I was a little kid, I love the number 4. Like I like the color blue or green. Like I don't
uh-huh.
know. It's just you just drawn to certain things, and it sounds super
Yeah.
weird, but yeah, that's it.
No, it makes all sense. It makes all sense. I always been connected with number 3, always been since a child. And I remember once I went to astrology, like a professional astrology, and this person told me your lucky number is 3. And when this person told me, I told her, I said, I for some reason already knew it. I know it. I have this connection. And actually, when I moved to Europe, I was 19 years old, and it was on the 3rd of March. I was in Portugal. When I moved to London, it was the 3rd of March as well. So I always have this, when I look back, with this, it's always 3, 13, 20, 23rd or 33. There's always 3 involved in some, when I look back in some moments of my life. But yeah, it's always been connected with 3 as well for no reason. I don't know why.
No reason.
Yep. Yeah.
Just like it.
Next question. Right, Randy, next question for you is, what makes you the happiest?
My life right now.
Wow.
Right now, life right now is I'm blissfully happy. I cannot even begin to underscore. I've had this conversation actually a lot recently. It's almost like personally, I'm looking through eyes that are like when I was 21 all over again, you know, and I can't tell you what addiction does to people, and when you're in active addiction, how much that cuts you off from maturing and cuts you off from experiencing life. And right now, I don't know, I feel this is, I feel like all the happiness that I pushed down and put away that I didn't think I was worthy of, that I didn't think I deserved, that I thought that I was not lovable. And I think all those feelings are finally having a chance to come out. And I really have appreciation for people, and for, you know, this just being grateful for the day that I have. And so every day is like that.
Very good answer. I love it. Very good. Next question. As you say about Atlanta, it's a beautiful place to be, and what's the most challenging part of living there, if there is any?
Okay, so I moved to Marietta, and I'm a bona fide city boy through and through. I got rid of my car about 10 years ago because when you live in the city and you have things like Uber and Lyft, and you walk or public transportation, which is not that great in Atlanta, but the other things are very accessible. I didn't need it, you know, and so now that I'm here, I need to buy a car. And so that's one thing that I'm doing. It's very visceral, but like, you know, logistically, if you're anywhere outside of the city of Atlanta, you absolutely have to have a car to get anywhere, and the traffic is horrendous. Wow. So that's the worst thing I could think of, you know. Yeah.
Good, very good. Right. What is a significant event that has changed you?
Well, coming into recovery was probably the most profound one. And that's the most significant thing about my life. I know I've talked about it a lot already, but I can't even tell you. I think it's one of those things where when you are in the middle of it, and your mindset and your spirit and your soul is all entrenched in all the things, you stop living, and your headspace is often all these other directions, and your heart is completely hollowed out and void. And when you open yourself up to the possibility that I don't have to be that way anymore, and life can be really great. It really is that simple, you know. And if you allow it to be, if you give yourself the space to allow it to be, because I tell you, once after I did that, I found a job now that pays, I can't even begin to tell you. I never thought I'd make the money that I make today. I never thought I'd have the friends I have today. I would never thought I would be confident in myself at the end of the day to say, you know what, I'm okay with just this. I have everything that I need. I love myself just enough, you know, and I'm grateful for the space that I have. And it's a headspace and a spirit space where you never feel like you're without anything in your life anymore. You know, there could be a lot of challenging moments, like day to day, absolutely 1,000%, that will never stop happening. But that's why you develop it's like you develop a whole new life and a way to live, and you just there's abundance and love in your life, and yeah, it's unlike anything you've ever experienced before.
For example,
experienced before.
what would be your best piece of advice for someone who would you like to start, like to go out to start a recovery process or to go out of this dark place? What would be your best piece of advice for this person?
Try a new way to live. If you really want to do something differently for yourself, and I would really argue that this would be something that younger gay men can do too. Because I know that when I was 21, 22, 23, granted I was a bartender as well, so that's another thing too. Atlanta's got a really big party scene, and I'm sure most big cities do. And so if you want to go experience those things, by all means, go do all the things, experience people. That's your right to do that. But also you got to keep in mind that that's not your life and it's not reality. And you cannot live your life day to day based around that reality. It will come crashing down at some point, and it's not always as perfect as it looks. But at the same time, if if somebody really wants to change their way of living and life, there's really, it's almost like I don't want to trivialize it, but it's not like it's fitness or having a new diet or having, quitting drinking or eat whatever it is, try it. The biggest thing is you have to surrender. You have to surrender yourself. Like, you know what, my way does not work. Clearly it did not work. I feel a certain kind of way about life and about how things are, and I'm not happy, and this is not fulfilling me. So what can I do? And to keep it simple, just to start all over again, and there's no wrong time. There's no late time. That's the best advice I can give you. Like, give yourself a chance, give yourself a break. Like, it's okay. Admit that you need some help. It's okay to do that. Everybody needs help.
I heard the other day that looking for help is a big sign of being strong.
It's a sign of, what they always say is you don't grow unless you go into the discomfort and the uncomfortable. Yeah. That's the only way you do it.
Absolutely.
But the beautiful thing about the people that want to go into recovery are the people that want to help themselves. And I when I came into this community, I was like, God, I wish they had this for everybody. Like, why do you have to be an addict to do this? Why don't they have recovery for people in everyday life? It really does apply to anybody. If you want to change something, just do it. The worst thing you can say is, you know what, this is not working. I don't want to do it. Move on. But I promise you, if you try it, the gifts that keep on coming in your life and the way you change, the way you think and the way you feel, that's paramount, hands down the best thing you can do for yourself.
Good, very good. Rande, I have 3 questions left for you, okay? Let's do it. Next question for you is, what is the silliest thing have you ever posted online on your social media?
Silliest thing? So I remember when I was 22, I don't even know, Charlie's Angels, that movie came out. And so my friends, Todd and David at the time, we were all roommates. And so we decided we would dress up as Lucy Liu and Cameron Diaz and Drew Barrymore. And we went to in downtown Atlanta Underground, they have, how to put this politically correct way, urban shopping, and the clothing and the wigs and the stuff. And so we had glasses with bejeweled heart shapes on there and skin tight pants and all these crazy, ridiculous clothing. But it's stuff that, when I was 22, it was totally cool. Like, platform shoes. And we did a whole thing where we posed in pictures and went everywhere. It was physically, that was very, very silly, but it was super fun.
And it's still there?
I don't know. It may or may not have been taken down. I'm not sure. Todd or David might have it. I don't know. I would have to go look for it.
2 questions left. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Rande, next question for you is, what are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
Okay. Open my own wellness center. Move to a different city. And continue my culinary education. I know that doesn't seem like it's something attained, like physical, but I like the idea of learning and continuing to open that up. And I love food, and I love that I love learning about food every day. Maybe going to some kind of association where I can learn and get accreditation somehow, and continue it that way.
Very good, very good. Last question, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. Before the last question, as you were saying about your big lover of food, there is any kind of food that you don't like to eat at all?
Absolutely. My mom laughs about this because I'm half Chinese, and so I refuse to eat baby corns. I refuse to eat water chestnuts, and I cannot tell you, it's a texture, and I feel like if feet had a flavor, it would be that. And baby corns, I feel like the water chestnuts, I just can't get past it. They make me I physically get ill. And it's funny because those are really prevalent in Asian food. So
yeah,
those two things, absolutely not.
And if you could choose to eat, if you could just pick one thing to eat the rest of your life, what that would be?
Sushi, for sure.
Interesting.
Easily, hands down.
Last question for you is, what is your idea of a perfect friendship?
I don't know that anything in life really qualifies as perfect, but my friendships now, I will say, they are honest, and there is always a space to share between friends to talk about whatever you need to talk about. But there's also enough space to go have fun and to be silly and to be insecure and be fearful. And also one thing that reciprocates love, when you tell somebody that, you know, this doesn't have to be romantic, but you tell somebody, hey, William, I love you, man. Like, you know, having to do that exchange is something that I did not do in the past, and not being afraid of what that word means, you know, because we're also limited in what we get in this lifetime. And so having that ability to share that with somebody else, anybody, is the best thing.
Very good, very good. Right, not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words. You just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Oh boy.
Good. Let's start with religion.
Scary.
Politics.
Scarier.
How about life?
Amazing.
Sex.
Necessary.
Family.
Love.
Okay. And how about fear?
Constant.
How about love?
Vital.
Money.
Necessary.
Okay. Friendship.
Paramount.
Desire.
Entertaining.
Regrets.
Unnecessary.
Success.
Possible.
Wish.
Always.
Happiness.
Daily.
One word for Atlanta.
Home.
And if I tell you USA, one word for USA.
Enigmatic.
I like that. And the last one now, being sober, one word.
Fulfilling.
Great. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friend for coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friend, what is the most beautiful thing about Randy and what he needs to improve on? What do you think your best friend will tell me?
So I was recently told this, and I think they all agree that I have a light that, was articulated to me, that I have a light that is infectious to other people, that there's an energy that I bring that makes people want to hang around, and a happiness that it exudes. The things that I need to work on definitely are patience. Getting out of my head is a big one because I overthink everything, and slowing down.
Wow. If I would ask the same question to your lovely mom, she would say the same answer?
Oh my gosh. She, yes, absolutely, 1,000%.
Yeah.
She and I are identical. We talked about this at length. Absolutely. And she would also say not to be as fearful. I used to live in fear all the time, and it's definitely something that it takes every day to work on.
Very good, very good. Right, let's play now Randy and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, Randy, you can ask me a question now.
So one of the things that I've learned in my life is to be grateful for everything, or grateful every day. What are you most grateful for?
Wow, very good question. I love the question. And actually, that word resonates to me a lot as well. I've been very fortunate to be grateful since I was since very early age. I remember my parents teaching me, my grandmother as well. I remember my grandmother, my God, I never forget. When I was 7 years old, I'll never forget this moment. She sat down with me and she was like, she called my son, said, "My son, look, let me tell you something very important now. One day, every morning, when you wake up, before you stand up, just close your eyes." Oh, goosebump again. Close your eyes, just be grateful for everything you have and ask for some protection. Ask to be protected, people around you and for you as well. And she said to me, "Believe me, nothing is gonna happen to you. Of course, you're gonna go through tough times sometimes, negative things gonna happen, but believe me, you're gonna be protected all the time." And guess what, Randy? Since that day, when I was 7 years old, I cannot stand up from my bed until I have this moment with myself, and also before going to bed as well. And saying that, I think the most thing I'm very grateful for is for my life, for being. I think life's such a beautiful gift that sometimes we take for granted. Sometimes it can be challenged, sometimes it can be beautiful, but at the same time as well, it's a gift. I think we are so fortunate to be here now and to have, for example, to have this moment we are having right now, just connect. I'm in London, you are in Atlanta, we are connecting now, have this moment, sharing energy, sharing moments. And I think that's what life is about. Life is just for you to wake up every morning, you know what I mean, and just be able to do mistakes, be able to do beautiful things, to, to do some wrong things as well. We are human beings, we're gonna go through that. But at the same time as well, just be grateful to be alive, to be grateful to have this gift that's life. I think life is it goes so short. We are so short life. Sometimes, we need to enjoy the most we can and just be able to, to be able to enjoy it and to understand life is a gift and we're gonna be here, and just I have to think, when you look back, when you are almost to go to another world, when you look back, you go you know what, I did well, I did well. I think I did a lot and I did some mistakes, I did some beautiful things, and I think that's what life is about. So yeah, I'm most grateful for life. I could be grateful for a lot of things, but when I think about when you formulate your question, I think life came straight away to my mind. I think life it's something that we need to be grateful for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Did you have a good time, Handy? Did you enjoy the experience?
Oh yeah, of course. This is one of the best things about I love is just connecting with other people. Randomly, or I'm not sure how this process of you selecting people. I'm super grateful to be here, doing this with you, because you just get to share your life with somebody else, and that's awesome. I had a great time.
Thank you very much. Thanks. And yes, it's funny you saying that, because the way I select people is I just go online, I don't look into too much profile, because I like to know the person during the interview, and I just see some main points, where they're from and something, but mostly I don't look into too much, because I like to know the person through the interview. And I believe as well that people cross other people's lives for a reason, even the questions.
Oh yeah, there are no coincidences in life.
No, even the questions as well. The questions are all here. People, they ask me, "William, do you select the question for the people?" I said, no, they're all here in front of me. I just select the question, and whatever comes, the question I pick, I believe that all the questions come to the right person. You know what I mean? Through this journey now, I realized that some people, they go into so much, their lives, their past, their memories, their the challenge as well. And I believe that's all the questions come to the right person. So yes, they're all here selected, and I don't know which question gonna come up. So yeah, that's the whole beautiful part of the show. It was a pleasure. Thanks so much, Ray. Thanks so much for your time as well. And before you go, if you don't mind to share a positive message or a positive quote, something that inspires you in life.
So I have, there were two, but the one in particular that I love is from Maya Angelou. And this is from a little book my mother gave me. And it has a lot of her quotes on here, but it says, have enough courage to trust love one more time and always one more time.
Wow, I like that. I never heard that before. I love it. Wow, it's beautiful.
But when I think about how many times I think that I did not trust it, and love can mean a lot of different things for many people, just give it another shot, because love can mean love for yourself, love for other people.
Yeah,
that's all it means.
Absolutely. Love is a big, it's a big thing, can be, you know what I mean? But all
Absolutely.
of them come to a beautiful place, all of them.
Yeah.
All the
All
best.
right.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your
All right,
weekend.
thanks, William. Have a good day.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.